Here I use the 45-degree angle I made on a stick instead of using the back of my knife, because the back of my knife the edge is too sharp and it cuts the fibers in the ironweed. So for that reason I'm using the 45-degree angle I made on this stick to scrape off the outer bark on this. When I do this with my knife, I find that most of these fibers that I got here from that one stalk, I would get almost nothing compared to this. I'd get like a few strands that were this length, if any. But when I do it with that piece of wood, I get full-length strands like this. Not all of them are full-length, but as you can see here, a lot of them are. So this will make some nice cordage. So here I've got a rope that I've already started, and I just twisted up some fibers like this and created a loop to start it off. It doesn't really matter if you do that or not, but there's where I started it, and then it's already about 3.5 feet long. So I'm going to use these strands I just took off that ironweed to get a bit longer, because I want to get this more than twice as long as I want it to be when it's finished, so that I can start over in the middle, and I'll make a larger rope using the smaller rope that I've already created. So I'm going to work on getting this longer. And I'm just using reverse wrap technique to make this cordage. So here's the cordage now that I'm done with the first part. It's about 8.5 feet long. And I already went ahead and cut all the taggings off where I added material. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to start on this end. So I have a loop right here. That's where I fold it in half, a bite in the rope. And I'm going to do the same thing. as before, I'm going to twist it and make cordage out of it. Except this time I have to twist the other way. I'm hoping that this will make it strong enough for me to use it for a bow drill, but we'll see. As it is, it's good cordage, but it takes a lot of stress on the bow drill puts a lot of stress on cordage, so we'll see. So here's the technique I ended up using for doing the second part of the cordage, twisting the two, folding it in half and twisting it together. So instead of rolling it in your hands and pulling it every time, that's a little awkward for me because I'm not used to going in the opposite direction, which you have to do if you're using stuff. If you twist it one way the first time, you have to twist it the other way the second time. And because of the way I twisted the smaller rope that I'm making this larger rope out of, I have to do it backwards of what I normally do. So instead of twisting and wrapping and twisting and wrapping, what I'm doing instead is I'm twisting one piece up about 3 inches, as tight as it can get, until it kinks, pinching my other fingers. And we're doing the other side, pulling them so they're side by side and at equal lengths, and then wrapping it together. And that's how I'm going about making this. So I'll show you again. Twist it up. And let it twist together. Lost it there. So here's the finished cordage. It's about 3 feet long, maybe 3.5 feet long. Just tied an overhand knot in the end to keep it from unraveling. Make my bow drill set. Well, the hearth and spindle anyway. Making it out of some slightly decayed honeysuckle. It's looking like a good fireboard. It's just real dry, slightly decayed. And it should work great. This might just fall apart when I try to use it, we'll see. spindle's done. Carve myself a divot. That divot ought to be enough. So let's try to do burning. See how it goes. I'm going to be using this rock bearing block. We're going to try and do a burn-in. See how it goes. Alright, the rope's getting pretty loose. Gonna have to tighten it. Hopefully that's not a sign that's gonna fail. This rope is pretty strong, but bow drill's awfully hard on a rope, so I'm a bit worried that this isn't gonna make it. A good bit tighter now. See how it goes. I've yet to get any smoke. I think I've got to tighten this again. Alright. There we go, that's smoking. Alright, we got a burn-in, yes. Had to make the spindle a lot smaller. The outside was all punk wood, but that seems to be working. I'm going to touch it up a little bit. Alright, I've got to carve my notch. Alright, got my notch carved. See if I can get an ember. String's getting too loose, it's stretching out. Got a good pile of dust there though. I can tell this string is wearing. I just hope it lasts long enough for me to get an ember. I can say now though, it's definitely possible. I got a good pile of dust there. Ah, no. Ah. Oh well, we were close. So, I'll say it's definitely possible. Made a good bit of dust, I was getting smoke. But in the end, I had failure. So, if I were to try this again, I think I would need to make this string thicker, I guess. Could make it just really thick probably. Maybe less chance of breaking, it would have more friction on the stick. I don't know. I'm sure there's a way to make it work. My string is probably too small, that's my guess. But I was close. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get my bow that has some paracord on it. Might as well finish this fire, get a fire going. Alright, I'm going to try this honeysuckle that I failed to do the ironwood cordage with. Ironweed, sorry. With my hickory bow for bow drill, not shooting bow. And paracord. See if I can get an ember. Slipping a lot. Alright, that ought to be plenty tight. I'm not sure what happened there. Guess I hit a weak point in the wood. I tore up the spindle. It's odd. Let's see if I still. Yeah. Hit a bad spot in the wood. It's not working. Oh well. I'm gonna keep this hearthboard. I don't see anything wrong with it, but that spindle's toast. Well, sometimes you succeed, sometimes you fail. This was a fail. But it's good to try new things. I think this hearthboard's gonna be fine. It did split out right there. But I think my biggest problem was just the spindle. It must have just been super punky. And once I got past the part that wasn't punky, it fell apart. I mean, look at that. Oh well.